Looks like you better try creating a new broadcast. Oh, deleted on Facebook. Oh, well, we're going to do our best here where it says we're live. Good afternoon, everybody. Well, it's always something when you go live. I'm ready to go live and it says your thing was deleted on Facebook, but we're just going to rock and roll anyway. Nikki, that's the way we roll here. I'm Captain Jim Palmer. I'm the Dream Business Coach. I'm the founder of the Dream Business Mastermind and Coaching Program, creator of Dream Business Academy, founder of No Hassle Newsletters, which is my extraordinary done-for-you newsletter program, has been used by over 1,200 small business owners in 9 countries. But most importantly today, and for the last 10 years, I'm the host of Dream Business Radio. This is episode 529. Hope you're having a fabulous Thanksgiving, or hope you had a fabulous Thanksgiving holiday. I just shared with Nikki, this is call 7. I've got 2 more after this. So we just roll, have a good time. But I'm really excited because one of my favorite topics in the world to talk about is branding and marketing. And I have a real expert. So Nikki, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. You said this is your 7th call for today. 7 is normally the number of completion. So I think we can just call it a day after this.
Well, I work 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So, and I prefer that. I prefer to be really busy. And then at the end of the day, I kind of roll back. But that allows me to, be free, which was very important when you're traveling on a boat. But anyway, I'm not going back to 5 days. Not going to do
I hear that. I like that.
Oh my goodness. Hey folks, this episode of Dream Business Radio is brought to you by the Dream Business Mastermind and Coaching Program. If you're an entrepreneur or small business owner who's tired of slow to no growth in your business, if you're feeling overwhelmed and unfocused, and especially if you're somebody who's interested in creating multiple streams of revenue in your business, you want to check out my virtual mastermind group led by me, Captain Jim, dreambizcoaching.com, dreambizcoaching.com. One more thing, if you're watching this live or, in the next day or so, it is November 30th, by the way. So if you're watching this a year from now, probably null and void what I'm going to tell you. But right now we're giving away a pretty cool free report on how to quickly and easily fill your calendar with lucrative high ticket clients. You can get a free copy at gethighticketclientsnow.com, gethighticketclientsnow.com. All right, let me dive right in and talk to you about Nikki because it's going to be a great call today. I love talking about brands and marketing. Nikki Bradley is a brand strategist and authentic messaging expert, and she works with brilliant leaders, including coaches, consultants, experts, service-based business owners who have been hiding often in plain sight. And in order to help them step up to their next level of calling, what they need to do is own their story and own their expertise. Nikki is a sought-after business mentor and speaker and has been recognized for thought leadership by Accenture and as a finalist for the Rising Star Award by the National Association of Women Business Owners. That's pretty cool. As a former top sales and marketing executive and consultant, Nikki worked with some of the biggest brands in the world and helped build startups from the ground up. She has built a successful career over 2 decades in corporate America, designing business growth strategies, developing teams, and closing multi-million deals with global brands. This girl is a powerhouse. She knows what she's talking about. Nikki, I'm going to stop reading the thing because I can't wait to ask you some questions. Welcome to Dream Business Radio.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, that's awesome. So 2 of my favorite topics, brand building and marketing. And the 2, they are different, but they also go hand in hand, right?
Yeah.
So before I dive into that topic, I'm always curious. And of course, I ask people to share a little bit of their journey to entrepreneurship. And I sort of already clued people in on yours. What did I leave out? Because so many people that start a small business, they start out in corporate America, or they get burned out, or they get fired, or their position has been eliminated, which was my case. And then you kind of say, well, maybe it's time I strike out on my own. What was your path like?
So I've always had some type of a business on the side. I was in corporate America, as you just talked about. But I come from a long line of teachers and of educators and entrepreneurs. So this was kind of inevitable that I would be doing this along this path of coaching, where it's kind of some teaching and having my own business. So I had the business on the side. I was in corporate America, running national sales team, building brands, and I was traveling all the time. I had a young child, and I thought it would be a great idea to start a business, but not just one business, but three at the same time.
Okay.
And got to the point where I was doing too many things all at the same time, and I found myself in a hospital bed.
Oh.
Um, and I was like, okay, this is not sustainable. Something's got
Mm.
to give. And I decided to shut one of the businesses down. I took one of the businesses was with family. I decided to take a step back from that one and take a lesser role. And then the other one is what has evolved into what I do now. But I made a lot of changes in how I run that one. I used to just take any client that would come to me
Yeah.
and basically just do anything if it was something that I knew how to do. I really did not have a brand. I really didn't have a focus. And now I really focus on helping to, like you were talking about earlier, help people to really show up as more authentic version of themselves in their branding and marketing. And I love doing that.
I like that. So what is the difference between branding and marketing? I mean, you do need to have a brand in order to be a good marketer, but what is the difference between branding and marketing as you see it?
Yeah. So I think the first thing is to understand that your brand is really who you are
Hmm.
as a business. So it's people's perception of how they see you in the marketplace. And so your branding is really the strategy that informs that.
Okay.
So it's the long game. So it is the everything that you are doing to um, really imprint in people's minds how they see you as a brand, like how they see you as a business, what they think of whenever they hear your name, that either your personal brand or your business brand. Um, when they see images, whether it's your visual brand, whether they see your collateral, they have an impression of who you are. Whether they hear your messaging and they like or they get a perception of what you're like, it's your reputation or your street cred.
Hmm.
Your mark,
Street cred. I like that.
yeah.
That's good.
Your marketing is more of the tactical side of things. It's about you trying to get people to take action, to buy a thing, to move to the next step forward in interacting with your business. So
Mm.
it's more of like the day to day. I'm trying to get you to do a thing right now. Um, that's the difference between it. So that's why you have things like social media marketing, content marketing, event marketing. All of those things are trying to get you to do a thing in the moment. It might be a marketing campaign that's working towards, like, we're trying to build up our email list, or we're trying to get people to buy this program or to buy this product. So that's more of like the shorter term goals versus
Okay.
the long game of the brand.
So when I was doing a little bit of research to interview you, and then just a few minutes we had before we went live. Well, I think we're still live, but anyway, um, it's so funny. I'm trying to pay attention to this thing flashing. You're not live on Facebook, but yet I can see a few people there.
It's all gonna
Man,
work out. It's fine.
I know it's like squirrel. Hey, what's that flashing thing over here? Anyway, you are a big believer in being authentic, which I totally am. I mean, I started doing video in 2009 when they invented that Kodak flip camera. I don't know if you remember that. It was about the size of a pack of cigarettes, and you open it up. It was like for $150 or $25, you could broadcast onto YouTube and things like that. And so when I started doing video, I started being Mr. Professional. Hey, I'm Jim Palmer. I'm a smart business guy. I thought I had to be all buttoned up, right? But only
Mhm.
when I just started being myself, which is slightly goofy, but anyway, it started resonating with people. And I think that's one of the messages is that you have to be your authentic self. That's a hell of a lead into a question, but why is it important for people to be authentic in their brand?
Well, is people have a BS meter.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff.
And even more so now than I think they used to. So if you think about like the marketing of like when our parents were first introduced to like the ad age on like the soap commercials on TV, right?
Yep.
So I think about
What do you mean
so
on
I
Lawrence Welk?
well,
Way
that
back then.
or even back like when there were first like you think about soap operas, they got the name soap operas because they were the advertisers were the soap companies. It
I
was
just learned something today. I had no
yes.
idea. Wow.
Um because all of the ads were like the ivories, the dishwashing liquids. It was all of that. And so those commercials were all like the Susie Homemaker, and it was all very curated and things like that. And so, but now, if you try to put those same ads on TV now, they would not sell anything. What people are
Right.
looking for now is more of like, that's why we have reality TV. People want reality TV in their marketing. They want to
You
be
know what
sold to
else?
that way.
You know what else, Nikki? I'm pretty sure you'll agree with this. Is social media and the whole level of visibility for small business owners today has totally removed any shroud of this is my 9 to 5 Monday to Friday gym, and this is who I am on the weekends. Everybody knows everything, so you
Mhm.
might as well be your authentic self, right?
Absolutely. And when people sense that you are trying to put yourself into silos, they're like, on to the next. No, I don't want that.
Mm,
Even if you think about the companies who have had those oops moments or when they've messed up or gotten called out on something, the ones who have moved through that gracefully or have been forgiven are the ones that have apologized authentically versus the ones who put out like a curated statement, you know?
to anyone that may have found offense,
Right.
between 9 to 5,
Exactly.
Oh,
There's a brand who I love, and they have built up this following, like a grassroots following. Um, some women, a lot of women may know about this brand. It's a woman-owned company that has feminine products, and they're all natural.
okay.
And they made the decision to partner with a large um, like mega company, and they made some changes to their formula when they did that. And so there was this big uproar from their following, like, oh my gosh, you sold out. Like, what did
Uh,
and what are these new ingredients that you're putting in? Like, is it not all natural anymore? And so there were people who were trying to basically cancel them because of this. And there have been some other companies who have sold to larger companies, and they've totally like lost market share and all of this, and have ended up going out of business because they did not communicate with their following that had brought them to the dance. Um, this owner went live, and the video went viral because
wow.
she went live basically sitting on her bed at her home, just flipped on her camera and was like, look, this is what the deal is. This is what happened. We got some investors. We partnered with this company. Nothing that you knew and loved has changed. We did a lot of research. We partnered with these scientists. We added these new ingredients, took these out because these are better ingredients for you. And here's why. And she laid it out. And she literally
Mm.
was crying on the video. And she's like, because I care so much about you because I use these products too. Like and it was just like you're sitting there crying with her. You're like, she does care.
That
Like
really is authentic. I mean, that's
that's
it.
authentic, right?
Yeah.
So that's what people are looking for. And now that the company has grown even more since then.
So in today's world, we obviously have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, I mean, YouTube. We got all these different platforms. I know you can't be on all of them, but it really increases the need for people who may consider themselves behind the scenes. I'd rather Jim, I'm really good at what I do, but I just want to lay low. I want to be behind the scenes. I'm the guy who delivers, right? But it really, at least in entrepreneurial companies and small businesses where you are technically the face of the company, not everybody's comfortable being their authentic self, right? I mean, do you
Mhm.
teach that? How do you work with clients who struggle being authentic?
So I just had a call with a client yesterday, um, and she's actually someone that I've known for many, many years, and she said the exact same thing. She was like, I'm used to being in the background. Like, I like being in the background. I'm comfortable back here. I
Right.
don't even know where to begin being out front. Um, and actually, the line of business that she's in, they are the background people for the client.
Okay.
So she's like, how do I even do this? And I told her, like, first of all, if you're on social media, social media is intended to be social.
Mm-hmm.
So it's supposed to be a conversation. So that's one shift that I think a lot of people have to make is don't think about social media as like um a task or a chore. If you think about it as like this is just like it's like going to a dinner party or like um going to a an event with your friends. You're just having conversations. If you think about it that way, you're just doing it online. That sometimes frees people from feeling like, oh, I have to do it like I see everybody else doing it. No, just have a
Yeah.
conversation with people.
Yep.
The other thing is once you decide to be an entrepreneur, you also decide to put on the hat of salesperson and marketing person.
That's right. You got to be the rainmaker.
You have to be. It's just part of it's part of the package. But
Okay.
showing up as yourself, the people that you're meant to serve won't know that you're their person until they can see you.
Hmm. You know, there's a very old expression which I sort of understood, but I understand it way more now. Or I don't know if that's probably sounds like horrible English, but anyway, it's the truth shall set you free, right? And as a marketer, what I've learned is that when you can just be your authentic self, this is who I am, this is what I know, this is what I can do. You don't have to remember a script like who did I say what to in what environment, what stage am I on, etc. Just be yourself all the time, and it's so liberating.
Mm-hmm. It is. It also saves you a lot of headache on the back end once you have clients because it weeds out the drunk uncles,
Hmm.
the
The
people,
drunk uncles.
the ones that you, the clients that you're like, oh my gosh, why do I how much longer do I have to work with them? The more that you show up as you on the front end, it it helps people to self eliminate.
Hmm.
So, I have some exercises that I do with clients. I just had a session with one this morning where we identify who their ideal client is and who their anti-ideal client is. And most
Okay.
people, when they look at that, they're looking at things like the demographics. Like I work with, men who are between the ages of 35 and 55 who are married and have 2.5 children and a dog, and they live in these cities. So no, it's beyond that. It is people who have, you know, these common threads. These tend to have these backstories or have these common experiences. Who have struggled with these things, who have these personality traits or these types of character traits. If I could get more clients that had these types of things, maybe you've had other clients like this before. It's kind of like building your dream partner,
Yeah.
like in the dating world. It's like
Hmm.
building your dream client. Like if I could add a little bit of this client here, a little bit of this client here, building that. That's what you're trying to do here. And so when you're able to do that, then you can speak to that person in your content and you're just talking to them like a friend because you know them so well. You're in their head and it allows you to show up more authentically that way. And then when you're talking to them, then all those other people, they're like, wait, that's not me. Let me move on to somebody else. And you don't even
Yeah.
get them coming to you.
So, Nikki, do you enjoy helping people either create a brand or just almost release the brand that you are or that you're afraid to put out there? Or do you like the marketing side? I mean, it's all kind of one big ball, so to speak, but what side of it do you enjoy the most?
I don't know if I can choose because I
Mm,
think there's overlap between both. Um,
but the brand does come first.
the brand does come first because if you don't
Yeah.
know who you are, then the rest of it is going to be so muddied.
Mm-hmm.
You won't know what to sell. It won't, because if you don't know who you are, you can't figure out what your services need to look like, even how to price it so that it's in alignment with who you are. You won't know how to market those things or who you should be selling it to, who your target audience is. And so when it comes time to sell your thing, you'll be putting out messaging and marketing that is out of alignment with your brand, and people will be like, huh, that didn't even make sense.
Yeah. If you could get, depending on time, if you could take or give 2 or 3 like tips on how somebody can build their brand,
Mm-hmm.
um, what would you say? Like, what would be the first steps if you had somebody come to you and said, "This is what I do. This is my experience. This is what I offer. Products, services. What and so, what's my brand? What steps do you take to do that?"
The first thing I would say is get really clear on the problem that you solve and be able
Okay.
to distill it down to as few words as possible. So often we know in our head what it is that we do or what we help people with, but our audience couldn't repeat it. Like they couldn't say it on our behalf. And what you want is you want to be creating um, marketing machines out in the world for you who can talk about what you do when you're not there. That's
Right.
part of building a brand because it's what people say about you when you're not in the room. That's
I mean, I
what
guess
Facebook
with
says.
Domino's going way back when they started, wasn't it fresh hot pizza in 30 minutes or less? I'm pretty
Yes.
sure that was done. So it's very concise.
Yeah,
Didn't say it was the best pizza in the world, gourmet. No, fresh hot pizza in 30 minutes or less. That was what they built their whole company on.
exactly.
So
Exactly.
it was easy to understand. It was easy to repeat.
Yes. So
Okay.
everybody could say that, and Domino's is nowhere around us right now, but here it is, what, how many years later, and you're still talking about them. You still know that, and can tell somebody else. So that's what you want to do for your brand, is be able to distill down what it is that you do, how you help people in as few words as less. And then the second thing that I would say is repetition, repetition, repetition. Say it over and over and
Right.
over and over again, just like Domino's did. It drilled it in our heads, so that you're saying it even in your head when you're not even intending to say it in your head.
My wife Stephanie used to say, back in my newsletter guru days, I could shake you awake in the middle of the night. You go, I'm Jim Palmer, the newsletter guru. Let me tell you about how to get more profitable repeat and referral business with a newsletter.
Exactly.
It's like it's so ingrained. You would just say it. So you're somebody who did ultimately transition from a corporate job to full-time entrepreneurship. You and I both know probably people who kind of got, as I say, one foot on the dock and one foot in the boat, right? And
Mhm.
they're trying to straddle until they feel safe just getting in the boat. How did you make that transition? Was it just full? Did you just go for it, or what would you say to people who are kind of riding that rail a little bit? How do they go from transitioning from a 9 to 5 corporate job to full time entrepreneurship?
So a lot of it is, for me, I initially tried to go find another job, because I was a part of a mass layoff with with the company that I was with.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I had the business on the side, so I was playing in it for some time, and but I had been getting the signs that it was time to jump in full time.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, it's cushy and comfy over here in this 9 to 5. I was
Got the
making
health
money.
insurance and
Right. I was
vacation.
making great money, all the things. And so, it was scary over there in that full-time entrepreneur world. So, but what really did it for me is, I would say two things. One, practicing courage. And um, because as an entrepreneur, and this, you are in order for your business to grow, which you need to be constantly working on how to grow it and grow cash, especially,
Mm,
because you can breathe a little bit when you have cash. because it's scary until you do that.
Right.
Um, you've got to exercise courage, which means every day, what is something that scares me, but I
Mm.
know it's the next thing I need to do in order to move my business forward. And usually it has something to do with making an offer to somebody. So practicing that daily. What is that next thing I need to do in order to bring in cash or move my business forward a little bit?
And a great question that I like to have is, what is the fastest path to the cash? You know, a lot of business owners are, especially from the corporate world, they're going to, well, let me set up my home office. Let me get my business cards made. Let me create a brochure. Let me build my way. They're doing all these things other than bringing in cash flow.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to tell people, because I was guilty of that. I said, well, you know, look I got a shiny business card. I opted for the glossy finish. Chief cook, muckety muck, whatever type. I'm now the chairman of my own corporation. How much revenue do you have? Well, so far 0. But it's
Yeah.
like, if you don't make it rain, meaning if you don't bring in cash into your business, you don't have a business.
No.
And that really, that's to me, outside of creating a brand and then with getting the help from someone like you or myself or whatever, and then having the courage to go out and promote that brand. A, number one, promote it, and then B, close business. You know, to me, it's like you might as well stay in corporate world.
Exactly. I think the biggest thing there is simplifying. Like in the beginning, I was trying to do all the things. I was trying to be on all the platforms. I was trying to sell everything in the kitchen sink. I was trying to speak to everyone. Like I was like, oh, I can serve anybody that comes to me. So yeah, definitely simplifying. I had a client that first came to me that she showed me all of the services that she offered. And if you ever been to Cheesecake Factory, and that
Yes.
menu they give you, that's what I called her offers. I was
22-page
like,
menu.
yes,
Yeah.
so I refer to her whenever I talk about her, like people like, oh, that's the Cheesecake Factory girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
A comment, I think this is actually a question. Let me put up from Jeff Herring. I found that as the years go by, my brand becomes more and more specific. Does that make sense? And is it a healthy way to go? So Jeff is a guy that I've known for many years as an online in the online business. He's a content marketer, and I think more and more, and I know this because Jeff's in my mastermind, but more and more he keeps focusing on how to create content and have that content turn into cash flow in
mhm.
terms of clients. So he's almost, I believe, I'm reading into his question, he almost said goodbye to this, that, and the other thing, focuses on content and how to make content turn into cash. I assume you'd think that was a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we hear this all the time. The riches are in the niches.
Yes.
If you think about the people who have become really well known in really any industry, it's because they have specialized. They've specialized in something.
Hmm.
Now they have. I do this exercise sometimes when I'm speaking, where I'll put up images of like well known public figures, and
Okay.
I'll ask like, what do you know them for? And in most cases, people will be able to say within 1 or 2 words what we know that person for. But each one of those people also do like other things, but we know them for that one thing. So
Right.
if you can drill down in one area, if you choose to later, you can always expand into other things, but you really make your money and you make your bread and butter from the thing that you specialize in.
That is, I think, the hardest concept for a lot of new entrepreneurs with branding. They think if I niche down to one thing, then I'm really shutting the door on all these other things. And in reality, you're going to attract more people to this. And as trust and values established in the relationship, they're going to know you do these other things, and therefore it'll kind of go down like this, right? The
Yeah.
amount of services you can offer broaden, but you don't start this way, because then you're a generalist instead of a specialist. So we have about 2 more minutes, Nikki. Let me squeeze in another question. Um, it's become very, very crowded out there. I always joke around when I started my podcast 10 years ago. Good Lord. I thought I was late to the party. I'm like, oh, look at all these podcasts. And now it's like there's millions, I don't know, hundreds of millions, whatever, of podcasts. So what do they say? The best time to plant a tree is 30 years ago, and second best time is today.
Yeah.
So get started. But having said that, it is a very crowded field for a lot of people. I mean, I don't think there's anybody who owns, oh, they're the only one to do that, right? So how do you stand out in such a crowded space?
I love this question. So I call it your dope superpower. There's 4 components to it. I'm going to try to go through them really quickly.
Okay.
One is your innate gifting. It's that God-given thing that you were given that you do, like breathing. Like you didn't even have to think about it. Like if you give Michael Jordan a ball, he's going to score. It doesn't matter what sport it is. What is that for you? Second thing is your passion. So it is the thing that you are super passionate about. You might even be, some people might think about it as the thing that you're curious about, that you always want to learn more about. You're reading books about it, listening to podcasts about it, but you always want to just consume as much information about it as possible. You're just drawn to it. The third thing is your blind spot. It's the thing that people are always saying, oh my gosh, you're freaking amazing at this. How do you not see that you do this? Like it might be people like your mentors, family members, friends are always pointing this out to you. And you're like, I don't see it. That's the third piece. The last piece is your experiences. All the things that you've done, gone through, people you've met that shape how you view the world, how you interpret things, how you even how you teach or how you do the thing that you do to help other people. When you put all 4 of those things together, there's nobody else on the planet who delivers what you deliver the way that you do it.
Wow. I can tell you're very good at this. Yeah. I could talk to you for easily another hour. Nikki, I'm sure people want to connect with you and learn more from you. You have some good posts or blog posts on your website. So what's a good place for people to connect with you, and how do you want to do that?
Yeah, nikkibradley.net. And I'm on Facebook. The easiest way to get to my Facebook page is just go to nikkibradley.net/FB for Facebook and connect with me there.
So Facebook, is that I'm guessing that's your preferred platform?
It is. That's where
it's mine too. And it's like it's love, hate, but it's actually hate mostly because I can't stand what they're doing. But I've been known on Facebook for so long, between my profile page, my business page, my Build Your Dream Business Now page. It's like, they really tick me off.
I know. Ways. My daughter's like, that's where the old people are. I'm like,
yeah, that's great. I knew this would be a fun interview. Nikki, thank you so much for being my guest today. I greatly appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. This was fun.
Yeah, folks, that wraps up this very special interview with my guest, Nikki Bradley. You connect with her at nikkibradley.net and then nikkibradley.net/FB to go to Facebook. I hope I said that correctly. I highly good, man. Who said my memory's failing me? Not me. I highly recommend you connect with her, follow her, and learn from her. She is the real deal when it comes to marketing and branding. You can connect with me at getjimpalmer.com. If you're interested in, again, joining the Dream Business Mastermind with about 27 other smart entrepreneurs led by myself, go to dreambizcoaching.com, dreambizcoaching.com. And remember, as part of my legacy building program, you can get all 6 of my books for free in digital versions. So that if you go to Amazon, they're free as Kindle books. If you go to Barnes & Noble, they are free as Nook books. And they are also in the iBookstore, totally free. It's an education on me. It's part of my higher calling, as Nikki would say, and I like that. And the other thing, remember, go to Get High Ticket Clients Now, gethighticketclientsnow.com. Download that special report and get more high ticket clients now. Who wouldn't want that? But that's it. Until this time next week, I am Captain Jim Palmer, the Dream Business Coach. If you're seeing this on replay, which a lot of people do, give a thumbs up, give a like, ask a question, Nikki. I'm sure she'll check in and answer that. And if I'm still not on Facebook, at least on my profile page, I will download it and repost it later today or tomorrow, and then we'll put it on YouTube. But anyway, I'm Captain Jim Palmer. I'm the Dream Business Coach. You take good care.